G'day, I'm Sharon and welcome. Big thanks to my friend Pearl who has loaned me her Jaguar 298DW for this demonstration on how to thread it. The front of the Jaguar 298DW, we have tension discs for the left needle, right needle, upper looper and lower looper. It can be opened by just pulling to the right, and this part of the machine also opens. So we pull that and expose it. The right end we have the flywheel, the on-off switch, and this is a tension release that operates for all four of the threads at the top. I have threads on here that match the threading chart in the machine. You can see here the guides for when the thread goes from the overhead telegraph and down to here, in which case they are just pulled from the centre out, You'll notice that this piece is actually movable, and that's the position you're supposed to use it when you're sewing. This is for moving things around. At the left end you can see there's the take-up lever. Generally with overlockers you leave that down all the time and just thread your fabric under there. This particular machine is quite elderly and some of these are not moving as they ought, so this piece that pokes out is your differential feed. I am creating a playlist for this machine. They are not necessarily things that are being done on the machine, but they are things that relate to it. So there is one on differential feed, one on tension, and one on how to use needle threaders. The main part of this is stitch length, and I would normally be sewing with a stitch length around 3, maybe a little bit more. This is to move the blade, so we're getting bigger or smaller seam allowances essentially. If it's on 4, then we're looking at 4 millimeters from the left needle to the cut edge, and if I take it through 5 up to 6, we will be looking at a 6 millimeter width from the left needle to the cut edge. I'm beginning the threading showing you from the back because it's the best way for you to see what's going on. I'm going to bring this thread, which is the lower looper thread, from the back to the front, and then I'm going to go under the set of teeth, bring the thread forward and drop it down. The next one is the blue one, from the back to the front, pick up the big set of teeth, go across and then forward. The yellow one, back to the front, through the small set of teeth and down, and finally the green one, back to front and through the far right set of teeth, forward and down. You would normally be doing this from the other side of the machine and have this extended as far up as it can go, and also have this over to the side. At this time all of the threads are past the tension discs, although they're not fully in them yet. I'm going to start working on the right and work my way over to the left. It does help immensely to have a pair of tweezers with you when you are threading overlockers. This overlocker is not as fussy as a lot of them are about the order that it's threaded in. The real thing you have to make sure is that none of the threads actually get wound around each other as you're doing the threading. The purple one comes through this guide from right to left. There's another guide, which is this one, right to left, and they are colour coded. We're then going to go to the bottom one here, underneath and up, and then we're following over to get 2 on this side. So what we're looking at now is this one. We go from the top down, and then this one from the bottom up. So we've followed there, and 2. From here we go behind the lower looper and into the groove that heads across towards its point, and then keep moving it across until you can see the eye of the looper there. Use the tweezers to get the thread through that from the front to the back. I'm going to lift the foot, and that makes it a lot easier for me to get the thread under the foot and out to the left. Now I'm going to do the blue thread. We come through the same first guide from the right to the left. The next guide is just above the first one, and this one we go underneath and up. Then we're going to go from the right to the left. There is a little pigtail here. Put the thread under, up and around. You want to get it through that pigtail. The eye of the upper looper is there, but we can get it down. It's a bit easier to see. Using the tweezers, make sure you're not getting intertwined with the needles at this point. We're wanting these threads at the moment to be quite free of what the needles are doing. That is each of the loopers done. One thing to be aware of, you do not want these two threads that are going through the same guide here to get tangled up with each other. Close that and that. The yellow one comes down, across, over the top of these. There are two guides above the needle. This one goes to the one on the right, and then through the eye of the needle. It will be easier to thread the needle with the foot down. You can either do it with tweezers, your fingers, if you've got a lot of patience, or with a needle threader, and I have got a video on how to use needle threaders. Take that one through to the back. The final one is the left needle, so bring the thread down, across, need to make sure it's caught in there, over the top. Use the guide that's on the left side for this one, and then thread the needle from the front to the back. This machine uses needles that are of the usual kind, so you can use ballpoints, you can use universals. Try to get the better quality ones. It does make a huge difference to how the machines operate. When you're putting a new needle in, make sure that it goes all the way up. The left needle will be slightly higher than the right needle. And make sure that the groove on the needle is running down the front, otherwise they don't work. With all the threads out to this side, I am going to release that and give a bit of a tug. And that should now mean they don't want to move anymore because they are properly bedded down into those tension discs. I'm going to hand wind the machine towards me, with the foot down preferably. And what I'm trying to do is to start it chaining. It's not completely necessary to do that, but I like to do it because that way I am sure that the machine is chaining before I put my foot down and create a big knot. Turn the machine on and depress the pedal. And you can see that it's chaining. So we'll just test this stitching. and there is the stitching. So that's the threading of the Jaguar 298DW. Once again, big thanks to Pearl for letting me use her machine, and don't forget, I've got a playlist of things that relate to this machine. See you over there.